Now, before we get started, I would really love if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get the latest content from the YouTube channel, The Last Rewind. And don't be shy about leaving your comments at the bottom of the page because you are the sole reason why this channel will be successful. Thank you. All right, let's get into it. We are hearing some news, some rumblings. Ever since Mike McCarthy was basically fired from his job, some people are happy about that. Probably most people, who are Dallas Cowboy fans are happy about that. Probably the people who aren't happy are probably anti-Dallas Cowboys fans, but hey, y'all can keep on hating. So Mike McCarthy was released after some contract negotiations that didn't seem to last that long. Jerry Jones blocked Mike McCarthy from talking with the Chicago Bears. And it seemed like, I thought anyway, that Mike McCarthy was going to end up coming back. Because like this dude, he loves to have mediocre teams. Like if he brought back Jason Garrett, who went 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, then why would he not bring back Mike McCarthy? But Mike McCarthy was able to, refuse any more contract negotiation. I guess he couldn't come to terms and agree with a new contract. I think Jerry wanted to bring him back, but, something about the contract he didn't agree with. I heard some rumblings that, Jerry wanted Jason Witten, maybe as an assistant coach, to kind of prime him to become a future coach, bringing back some old players. You know how Jerry does. He likes to keep the Cowboys family together, even to his detriment. And I heard Mike wasn't for that. And I'm sure there were some other things that he didn't agree with. And he said, okay, I'm out. This job's not worth it. Even though, Mike was like, this is my dream job. I always wanted to do it when he first got here, but, whatever. And so now it's time for the coaching search. Who wants to come here for the coveted job of being a Dallas Cowboys coach? Here's the thing. Troy Aikman did an interview talking about that very subject. Is the Dallas Cowboys coaching job a coveted job anymore? Let's hear what he had to say.
Well, I thought Mike McCarthy would be the head coach. So this is a bit of a surprise for me today that he's not going to be. And what went into those conversations that Schefter talked about, I'm not exactly sure, but it suggests that there's not a real plan. And the fact that they haven't had the opportunity to maybe interview a Ben Johnson and some of these others, Aaron Glenn. I think that what Schefter said as far as Kellen Moore being a candidate, that seems logical to me. A guy who has familiarity with the building. He's worked obviously with the Cowboys and with Jerry Jones, and they know each other very well. In fact, when Mike McCarthy got the job, it was told to Mike that Kellen Moore would be the offensive coordinator. So that's how much the Jones family thinks of him. Beyond that, it's hard to imagine. As far as a coveted job, I don't know that that's accurate. Really? I do think the Cowboys are obviously a high-profile team. Whoever is covering or whoever is head coach of that team is certainly going to draw a lot of attention. But I think most football people that take over as a head coach, they want to do it on their terms.
That's fair.
That's hard to do. And it's, if you take a Dan Campbell, for instance, is Dan Campbell if he's with the Dallas Cowboys? It's hard to imagine that he is. It's hard to imagine that a lot of these coaches might be. So I love the Dallas Cowboys. I played there for 12 years. I wish them well. But to say that it's a coveted job, I'm not sure I would necessarily agree with that.
So you heard what Troy Aikman, legendary Dallas Cowboy from the 90s, three-time champion, had to say. I happen to agree with him. I no longer agree right now that the Dallas Cowboys vacancy at head coach is a job that anyone wants to be. I'll say they don't want it to be a successful coach. They can get fame off of it because you'll always be remembered being a Dallas Cowboy coach, whether for good or bad. People remember Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett got a job off of it. And Jason Garrett, I think, is on Sunday Night Football, probably because of that. because he was on prime time, because it wasn't because he knew what he was doing as a coach. So why did he get a job as an analyst? I think it's because he was on the high profile Dallas Cowboys. Whether people want to agree with me or not that he should be, let's not forget the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, are the richest franchise in all the four major sports. I could be wrong, but I know for sure the NFL, they are. I think they are in every major sport. Yeah, I'm not sure about baseball, but I'm sure on at least basketball and NFL, they are the richest team there is. And amongst those two sports, I think all four sports they are. But anyway, getting the job as a Dallas Cowboy coach, yes, you can get some fame off of it. Let me give you an example. If you ever watched the show, I'm a bit of a fanatic. No, I won't say fanatic. I ain't gonna go that far. I like the show. I'll say like Love is Blind. It's a mess. People go up there to go find love. Probably, if you look at the percentile of it, most people do not find love. Their probably mindset is in tatters to even find a relationship after they go on the show. So the whole purpose is just ruined. And love is not blind, because if love was really blind, they would have some out of shape people on their show, talking through those walls. They have some mud butt looking faces on their show that you can't see through those walls. And then when it comes to the other side, they'd be shocked. But now you got to go through an experiment and see if you're going to get married to them because you like their personality. Let's see if you like their personality based on their looks now. That's really what Love is Blind should be about, but it's not. But what I'm going to say is people go on that show now. I found out once the show ends, they get a social media account, or they always have a social media account. They get more fame off of it. They build their businesses, whatever, or brand, whatever they got. If they're a cook, then after the show goes off, they get more fame. They get more followers. They get more business. If they're a beautician, more fame, more followers, more money. If they're an athletic coach, whatever, more fame, more followers, more money. That's what the Dallas Cowboys head coaching job is now. Even if it wrecks your life and wrecks the whole purpose of you for taking that job is to become a great head coach and build a team to win a championship. Even if you get fired, which you eventually will, it seems like that's the routine, you get fame and fortune off of it even after you leave. That's the only thing I would love about being the Dallas Cowboy head coach now. May things change in the future? God, I hope so. But that's not what we're really talking about here. Towards the end, we're talking about someone that could possibly be a future head coach on the team. We're talking about, let me get the graphic up here. Prime time Deion Sanders. There's been some rumblings that Deion Sanders has had conversations with owner Jerry Jones about possibly being a future head coach of the team. What do I think about that? I don't think it would work. I really don't. I think right now, here's what I think. I think Deion Sanders tried to have a conversation with Jerry Jones, maybe for two reasons. The first one I think is more applicable. I think he tried to have a talk with Jerry Jones to maybe play on getting more money in Colorado and say, hey, look, I got interest from one of the richest teams in the NFL. They can take me away from what I've done for you, Colorado. I just got here and look at all the success. Look at all the media attention I brought to your school. Do you want to keep me around? Pay me my money. And I love what Deion has done with Colorado. Hopefully he continues to have success there. Or maybe he's really interested in leaving Colorado and coming to the team he once played for and won one Super Bowl with. Here's why I don't think that'll work, though. Okay? He's built a good team in Colorado. He's building a culture out there. He's going to bring better recruits the more he stays out there. Biggest thing why he will not leave is he has control of the team. Control. The reason why Bill Belichick probably couldn't find a team to go to is because none of them were going to give him the same kind of control he had in New England when he was winning. That's why he went going to UNC, go Tar Heels. That's why he went to a college team, because I don't think he could find someone maybe at the time that would give him the kind of control that he wants. Maybe he still has some control, but he wants a different kind of control like he had in New England, which he started to lose when his teams didn't win anymore, or he couldn't get into the playoffs consistently. That's another story. Deion has built a great college football team. If he came to Dallas, I see Deion's a bit of a control freak. I don't want to say control freak. He's just doing his job. Jerry Jones is the control freak. Do you think that Jerry Jones, at 80, whatever he is now, is going to say, you know what? I can change for 1 year or a few years with Deion. I can relinquish my hold on the team and let Deion be the general manager. Do you think Jerry's going to do that all of a sudden? No. Leopard don't change his spots, and neither does Jerry. And I'm sure he has old spots on him right now. He's not changing those spots at his age. He's already said this. He's not going to relinquish control being a general manager. Just think of this scenario. Deion gets his sons. He gets his quarterback on the team, which that's one reason. I don't think that's going to happen. But let's just say, scenario's sake, he gets his son to be the starting quarterback. What happens if his son quarterback, God forbid, not wishing nothing bad on him, stinks up the joint? He's not good enough to be a starting quarterback. But Deion still has hope in him. Well, let's just say he's mediocre and he's just got room to improve. And Jerry's not happy about it. He said, oh, man, we're below 500. I think it's time for a change. Deion says, well, no, man, I want my son to have more time at the position, give him some years, and he'll be better. But Jerry doesn't agree with him. Then there's going to be a power struggle. And you can't just, if Jerry wants to trade him, or if Jerry wants to use the backup quarterback, whoever they have at the time, Deion doesn't agree. It's going to be a power struggle, just like there was when Jimmy Johnson was there. Do you think Deion wants to subject himself or his sons to what Jerry may do to him? Deion's going to want control of that team. Jerry's not going to give it to him. That's why it's never going to happen. I don't want to say never say never. Because maybe the right amount of money, it could happen. But I think it's highly improbable that it ever happens. I'm trying to leave some room because I feel like, if I keep saying it enough, all of a sudden Deion's going to shock me and one day say, Deion Sanders is the coach of the Cowboys. I don't think it'll happen for those reasons. Control. Jerry's not going to relinquish it. Deion wants it. And rightfully so. Most coaches need some sort of control, or like the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know when things happen on their team, good or bad, their coach, Mike Tomlin, is going to have something to do with that team. Getting rid of players, bringing in players. We know he's not the owner, but we know the buck stops with Mike Tomlinson, my fault. We know if something good or bad happens, Jerry Jones is going to blame the coach, going to blame the players. He's not going to take none of the blame, but when something good happens, he's going to take all of it. I don't think Deion's ego, I'm not saying in a bad way, I don't think neither of their egos would be able to handle each other. What do you guys think? Leave your comments. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you go out there and be kind and join us on the next episode of The Last Rewind. Peace.